A baby secret agent with extraordinary abilities must join forces with his rival older brother to battle a major threat, one that could make dogs the most beloved members of the family. Today, we're recapping the story of the 2017 animated film The Boss Baby. The story begins with a young boy, Timothy Templeton, imagining himself fighting a massive gorilla, pulling its arms and landing powerful punches. However, this scene is merely a creation of his vivid imagination, inspired by his playful adventures with his parents. Tim often envisions daring missions, such as saving his parents from the belly of a shark, or being rescued by them while learning to ride a bike. Mr. and Mrs. Templeton work in the marketing department of Puppy Co., and despite their busy schedules, they always make time for their son. However, one day, they decide to have another child, something Tim isn't thrilled about, as he doesn't want to share the attention he receives. Meanwhile, in a mysterious baby factory, infants are sorted into different categories. One baby stands out from the rest when he takes the tickle test and remains completely unfazed. Instead of being sent to a family, he is dressed in a suit, given a briefcase and a bottle, and placed in an office chair. On the day the new Templeton baby arrives home, Tim imagines him stepping out of a taxi, dressed in a suit and carrying a suitcase. His imagination is interrupted when his parents introduce him to his new baby brother. The infant immediately starts crying, manipulating the household with his wails and gaining full control over the family, much to Tim's frustration. One day, while playing, Tim envisions himself investigating an alien invasion with his friend T-Rex. However, as the house fills up with baby-related items, Tim grows more and more desperate. During mealtime, he spills his milk while observing how his parents dote entirely on the baby. Convinced that something is off, Tim tries to tell his parents that the baby is suspicious, especially since he wears a suit, but they dismiss his concerns. Frustrated, Tim and the baby end up in a scuffle. Later, Tim waits for his parents to tuck him in at bedtime, but they are too exhausted and have fallen asleep in the living room. As he searches for them, he hears a phone ringing and follows the sound upstairs. Armed with a toy gun, he sneaks into the baby's room, only to catch him in the middle of a phone conversation, speaking like an adult and discussing a mission. Tim reveals his presence, prompting the baby to drop his disguise. The baby introduces himself as the head of an organization and declares that Tim is outdated, urging him to make way for the next generation. Suddenly, the baby viciously attacks a teddy bear in a fight against a toy robot. He then warns Tim to keep his identity a secret, threatening to fire him if he doesn't comply. Determined to expose his baby brother's true nature, Tim devises a plan. Dressing in a ninja costume, he sneaks down the hallway and switches off all the lights. However, as he reaches the stairs, he steps on a squeaky toy duck, slipping and tumbling downward. When he opens his eyes, he finds himself surrounded by strange babies, who quickly attack him. In reality, these are Boss Baby's associates, who have gathered at the house for a meeting. Hiding behind a plant, Tim watches as Boss Baby discusses his mission with the other babies. He explains that dogs are a major threat to babies, and Puppy Co. is about to unveil a new prototype that could make puppies more popular than infants forever. One of the babies accidentally swallows a cookie, enraging Boss Baby, who furiously rips apart a teddy bear. Tim secretly records the conversation, but before he can show the tape to his parents, the gang of babies intervenes. A high-speed chase ensues as Tim attempts to reach his parents with the evidence. The baby agents relentlessly pursue him, blocking his path. A chaotic battle breaks out, with Tim using a treehouse as his defense. He pelts darts at Boss Baby, but Jimbo, the giant baby, shields him. Eventually, Tim manages to retrieve the tape and races toward the house, bouncing off a trampoline to reach the top floor. However, Boss Baby is launched by Jimbo and catches up. The chase continues through the corridors until Boss Baby rolls uncontrollably down the stairs. Just as Tim is about to expose the truth, the baby holds his beloved stuffed animal hostage, forcing to back down. Enraged, Tim places Boss Baby in a slingshot, preparing to launch him. At that moment, their parents walk in. Shocked by the scene, they scold Tim for being mean to his baby brother and destroy the tape in the process. As punishment, they confine Tim to the house, forcing him to live under his brother's rule. Over the next few days, Tim imagines himself trapped in solitary confinement, His misery is interrupted when Boss Baby approaches him with a deal. He reveals that he is the manager of Baby Corp and offers Tim a pacifier that grants him a vision of the entire operation. The two float into a surreal sky-high building labeled Baby Corp, where they observe an assembly line of infants. Tim learns that some babies consume a special formula that halts their growth, keeping them in baby form indefinitely. Boss Baby explains the growing crisis. Love in the world is shifting from babies to puppies. He idolizes a former Baby Corp executive, super colossal big fat Boss Baby, who once held the highest rank in the company. However, Boss Baby's own mission is in jeopardy as he has yet to report crucial data. Suddenly, Boss Baby receives a call from his supervisor informing him that he's being fired. Desperate, he manipulates Tim, claiming that if he loses his job, he will remain with the Templetons forever. Wanting to get rid of him, Tim agrees to help complete his mission. Their plan? Sneak into Puppy Co. during Take Your Child to Work Day and uncover the new puppy prototype. To appear as loving siblings, they pretend to get along in front of their parents. However, the act doesn't come easily, leading to a series of amusing conflicts. At Puppy Co., Tim and Boss Baby discover the highly classified Forever Puppy project, but are captured by the mastermind behind it all, Francis E. Francis, CEO of Puppy Co. He reveals himself as the former super colossal big fat Boss Baby, who was once Baby Corp's rising star. However, when the anti-aging formula stopped working, he was discarded and replaced by a younger baby. Seeking revenge, he created Forever Puppies, dogs that never grow old, ensuring that no one will ever need babies again. Francis kidnaps Mr. and Mrs. Templeton, planning to eliminate them. Meanwhile, his brother Eugene, disguised as a babysitter, watches over Tim and Boss Baby. The duo outsmarts him using disgusting tactics and flee. However, as the baby formula wears off, Boss Baby starts turning into a regular infant. Determined to save their parents, the brothers chase Francis to the airport and stow away to Las Vegas. At the Puppy Co. convention, Francis prepares to launch the Forever Puppies, but Tim and Boss Baby intervene. A dramatic showdown unfolds, ending with the villain being defeated and turned into an actual baby. With the mission complete, Boss Baby is promoted, but it comes at a cost. He must return to Baby Corp, erasing all memories of his time with the Templetons. However, Tim, having grown fond of his brother, sends him a heartfelt letter and a special toy gift. Touched, Boss Baby defies protocol and returns, becoming a real part of the Templeton family as Theodore. And that's the story of the Boss Baby. What did you think of the movie? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos and subscribe for more magical adventures. See you next time.